This is Adriana Jerome's Elephant Ecology Biology Honors Red 3 Final. Me and Natalia Kincart worked together to create a project that focuses on connecting each unit we learned in biology this year to elephant conservation and our ecology unit. We explored how genetics, cells, energy, evolution, and ecology can all relate back to elephant conservation. In Unit 1, The Chemistry of Life, we were able to learn how the chemistry of life is extremely important to understand elephant DNA and elephant genetics. DNA contains nucleotides that store genetic information. Gel electrophoresis can separate DNA fragments, which assists scientists in the study of elephant populations and heavily assists conservation efforts. We were able to find this information in Pearson 2.14, the Chapter 3 Molecule of Cell Notes, and Elephant Conservation Notes. In Unit 2, Cell Structure and Function, we were able to connect this unit back to the Elephant Ecology unit and learned that elephants depend on specialized cells and organelles to survive. Organelles, like mitochondria, produce energy, while the nucleus stores genetic material. Cell membranes also are very helpful in regulating movement and communication inside cells. We found this information on the Working Cells notes and Lesson 4.3 on page 36 in the Pearson Plus textbook. In Unit 3, Cellular Energetics, Photosynthesis, and Cellular Respiration, we were able to learn that energy consistently moves through ecosystems with processes such as photosynthesis and cellular respiration. Elephants are large contributors to the carbon cycle, and they also rely on cellular respiration for energy. They contribute to larger systems in the ecosystem, including the carbon cycle. We found this information on Cellular Energy 5.12 slide notes and Pearson Plus 2.9 and 6.1. In Unit 4, Cell Cycle, Mitosis, and Meiosis, we learned that the cell cycle is a huge helper in elephants' growth, repair, in damaged cells, and reproduction. Mitosis helps create identical body cells, while meiosis is able to create genetic variation in reproductive cells. This is what is a large contributor to various traits happening in different elephants. This variation helps ensure that elephant populations remain strong over time. We were able to find this information in the Focus of Cell Cycle notes and Lesson 5.10 on Pearson Plus. In Unit 5, Heredity and Genetics, we learned that heredity is what allows traits to pass from parent cells to offspring. In elephants, tusklessness is a great example of this. Tusklessness can be inherited through sex-linked genes. Poaching has largely affected elephant populations and increased the number of tuskless elephants through selective survival. It is an adaptation that various elephants made to help survive. In Unit 6, DNA Structure and Replication, Protein Synthesis, we learned how DNA is made up of a double helix structure and contains the instructions that are necessary for life. DNA replication and protein synthesis are huge helpers in elephants' growth, elephants' function, and the passing on of genetic information to future elephant generations. We found this information on Pearson Plus Chapter 10, Molecular Biology of the Gene. Continuing with Unit 6, we also learned how mutations can change amino acid sequences and affect proteins in different ways. Scientists like to use techniques such as gel electrophoresis to study elephant DNA and identify different genetic differences and special protein functions in elephants. In Unit 7, Natural Selection and Evolution, we found out that natural selection causes populations to change over time. Since elephants with smaller tusks or no tusks are more likely to survive poaching, these traits are becoming more common in some populations. They gain popularity as elephants adapt to their surroundings and obtain the traits that are best suited for survival. We found this information on Pearson Plus 20.1, 13.7, and National Geographic. In Unit 8, Ecology, we learned that elephants are a keystone species because they play a very important role in maintaining ecosystems. They are a huge helper with spreading seeds and shaping habitats, while poaching negatively affects biodiversity and food webs. We were able to find this information on Pearson Plus chapters 34 through 38 and lesson 37.1, as well as the ecology notes. For Natalia's Laudato Si slide, she used the quote, "For human beings to destroy the biological diversity of God's creation, for human beings to degrade the integrity of the earth by causing changes in its climate, by stripping the earth of its natural forests or destroying its wetlands, for human beings to contaminate the earth's water, its land, its air, and its life, these are sins." The quote that Natalia chose emphasizes how harming biodiversity and ecosystem goes against the responsibilities that humans have to care for the earth. Elephants are huge helpers in supporting ecosystems and protecting them, which helps preserve God's creation and biodiversity. For my Laudato Si slide, I chose the quote, "It is not enough, however, to think of different species merely as potential resources to be exploited, while overlooking the fact that they have value in themselves." This quote truly reflects that animals should not be treated as simply resources. Poaching harms elephant populations and treats elephants unfairly for human benefits instead of respecting them as living organisms, which goes against what Pope Francis teaches and what the Bible teaches. We should treat elephants as the living organisms they are and not as resources for humans to abuse. Thank you for listening. Overall, this project really showed us how biology concepts connect to the real-world environment issues and elephant conservation. Protecting elephants is extremely important because they play a large role in maintaining healthy ecosystems and maintaining biodiversity. Conservation efforts are very, very important for this keystone species, and we are very thankful that you got to listen to our presentation.